from Rivers State. A group has vowed to tour around the 23 local government areas of the state to garner support for the governor, talking about Sim Fubara. As a political crisis in Rivers State continues, more groups are rallying support for Governor Sim Fubara. The latest show of solidarity comes from the Simplicity movement led by the Rivers State governorship candidate of the National Rescue Movement in the 2023 election, Somabobo Jackridge. The group has vowed to tour around the 23 local government areas of the state to garner support for the governor. The large crowd of members of the Simplicity movement marched through Buguma, the headquarters of the Asari Toru local government area, on Friday, demonstrating their support for Governor Fubara. Other speakers at the event reaffirmed their commitment to backing Governor Fubara, emphasizing the importance of supporting a Niger leader during these critical times and urging detractors to desist. The group also inaugurated its executive members across the 23 local government areas before marching through the streets of Buguma. The political crisis in Rivers State has given birth to protests and solidarity marches from supporters of both Governor Sim Fubara and Nyesom Wike. On Monday, former local government chairmen and other stakeholders held a solidarity march in the various local government areas in support of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Well, need I say that we have two governments in a sense running in Rivers State, Sim Fubara on the one hand, and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on the other hand. Let's quickly move on to other stories. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has dismissed report that the 10th Senate is proposing that the federal government procure a new aircraft for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice, Senator Kashim Shettima. Akpabio, in a statement on Tuesday by his media aide, Jackson Udom, was quoted to have made this known while speaking to newsmen in Maiduguri shortly after leading a delegation to pay a condolence visit to Senator Tahir Mogono over the death of his father. Last week, reports filtered in the media that the Senate President commented that the Senate would approve the purchase of a new aircraft for the President and Vice President, irrespective of the fact that Nigerians are hungry. The Senate President said the report was from propagandists and fifth columnists, stressing that the Senate was focused on delivering legislation supporting the actualization of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Okay, we move on now. The minimum wage issue is still there, and governors are meeting on minimum wage, local government autonomy. These are some of the issues that are dominating the political discourse in recent times. And the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, Zamfara State Governor, Dauda Lawal, and Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, arrived at the Nigerian Governor Forum's head office in Abuja for the group's meeting. Under the leadership of Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdul Razak, the NGF is expected to discuss issues including the new minimum wage and local government autonomy, among others. The governors had previously rejected the federal government's proposal of 62,000 naira, stating that some states will need to borrow to pay salaries. Despite this, organized labor continues to demand a minimum wage of 250,000 naira. So let's see how all of that will pan out, even though some states have already made some progress in terms of jacking up the wage rise for their workers, looking at Edo State, Lagos State, and a few other states. We hope other states can borrow a leave and do the same, because there is hunger in the land, and workers are not happy. Nigerians are not happy. Let's look at the political scene, in the international scene, particularly in the U.S., where Trump-Biden geared for historic U.S. presidential debate. Joe Biden and Donald Trump prepared Wednesday for the biggest moment so far in the U.S. election, the first of two high-stakes debates that could upend the race. Thursday's showdown raised the campaigning to a boiling point, with both camps recently escalating their increasingly personal attacks. And after the debate, of course, from the reports that is there in the public space, the Democratic president, talking about Joe Biden, performed woefully, and that has attracted a lot of comments, a lot of reactions, even with the Democrats thinking of what next to do. The Republican, perhaps assumed presidential candidate now, Donald Trump, leveraged on all the weaknesses and the shortcomings of President Joe Biden to spew out a lot of things which some media have described as untrue. Only time will tell. But the interesting thing is that in spite of the allegation and the scandal and the issues surrounding surrounding former President Donald Trump, his rating continues to grow, continues to increase. And so we're probably looking for an interesting election in the forthcoming election, U.S. presidential election in November. But you can see that debate is part of democracy, is key to democracy, and that is why ITV Radio is putting together the 2024 Edo State governorship debate. You should look forward to that on the 14th of September and on the 15th of September. We'll be expecting major political parties candidates to come and speak to Edo people on their manifesto, on their plans, and on their visions. And it gives opportunity for the people of Edo State to assess each of the candidates and their political parties in terms of what they have for Edo State. We'll take that promo now. We'll be back with you on our package for today on Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Stay tuned.